Alrighty, this is a video that is not that overdue. Unlike the Avatar top 10 moments list I just did, this is my top 10 moments from The Legend of Korra. I recently finished The Legend of Korra after watching The Last Airbender. I really enjoyed it. It's a show I never would have touched if I didn't watch The Last Airbender, but I'm really glad that I did. Lots of memorable moments that came from the 4 seasons. It was a really interesting watch for me, understanding how the show was structured, with season 1 initially going to be a standalone, season 2 kind of being the same thing, and then seasons 3 and 4 being very connected, ordered together. It really shaped how I viewed the show, but they also did a really good job of making The Legend of Korra its own show. It is set in the same universe as The Last Airbender. Yes, it's pretty much a sequel, but it was very different, tackling a lot of very different issues, a lot of things that The Last Airbender didn't, and it did them very, very well, especially in seasons 3 and 4. So with all that being said, let's get into the list. We've got a couple of cameos to start us off. So number 10, Toph.
Wait, you recognize me?
In a manner of speaking. We were good friends in your previous life.
It's Toph, look at her
I
eyes.
can't believe it. Toph?
Nice to see you again, Twinkle Toes.
Bro, it's actually Toph, bro. Twinkle Toes. I think the Twinkle Toes gets me, man. This is one of my favorite things in shows like this that are pretty much sequels to other shows or even video games, you know? Seeing past characters that you get very attached to, that are very iconic, grown up in a completely different world and scenario. Toph was one of my favorite characters in The Last Airbender, so to see her come back in season 4 of The Legend of Korra in a very pivotal moment in Korra's character arc as well was very satisfying. I loved her presence in The Legend of Korra. While she isn't depicted as a perfect mother, it is very, very refreshing to see Toph in The Legend of Korra. Alright, moving on to the second cameo, but not the last in this list. Number 9, Zuko.
They came out of nowhere. I'm so sorry, Lord Zuko.
No,
How could you let this happen?
it's actually him!
Notify the new chiefs of the Northern Water Tribe that an attack on their prison is imminent, and send word to Lin Beifong in Republic City. The Avatar must be protected.
Oh, please. Wait! Why is Zuko here? And he's on a dragon! Like both of his great-grandfathers, man. Oh, shit. Why have they done this to me? I completely forgot everything else that's happened in this episode. I need to go back and look at him. Now, this one really took me by surprise. You don't know if Zuko's alive or dead up to this point. There's a statue of him in Republic City. We see his grandson, General Iroh. He's just there. He has a dragon. It's really satisfying. And when he gives Korra advice later on and Korra mentions Iroh, you can almost see a little bit of young Zuko come out in his face. It just hits, you know? It just hits. Alrighty, those first two are heavily influenced by The Last Airbender. But moving on to number 8, we have Jinora becoming a master airbender. Tattoo time.
Today we welcome the first airbending master in a generation, and I couldn't be more proud of my daughter.
Is she gonna be bold to get a tattoo?
Let us anoint the master who will help
I see
lead
it.
us in
I
our
see
new
the tattoo.
path.
Oh my god, she looks crazy. It really suits her though. She's like a little Aang, man. Aww. It's like Aang and Gyatso. Season 3 finale, easily the best season. It was absolutely fantastic. This was such a great climax to this season as well. It's something they were building to throughout the whole season, and when Jinora takes the hood off, the bald head, the tattoo, just how much she looks like Aang, the soundtrack in the background as well, it's really epic. It's a moment I think about quite often. It is very, very heavily contrasted with how sad and defeated Korra looks at the end of this scene, at the end of the whole season. It's the last thing we see, but it's a really nice moment. There's lots of hope around it and build up into the next season, so that's my number 8. Number 7, Bolin lava bends. Don't lava bend! Don't you dare lava bend! The chills I just got.
You're a lava bender. I know.
What?
I just found out.
My dude Bolin, he's not a metal bender, he's a lava bender. Now, I absolutely allowed myself to get sucked into the narrative of Bolin potentially learning metal bending throughout this season. Once again, season 3, the best. I jokingly mentioned at some point throughout my watch through, what if Bolin becomes a lava bender? But there was so much talk about metal bending and he was practicing it. It didn't even pop into my head as a possibility throughout this entire sequence up until the moment where he's right in front of the lava and he just does the thing. Bolin's a good character throughout the whole show. He's filling that comedic relief role, and they bounce around a lot with him throughout the show with what he's doing, you know, the whole Noctuck situation and then him getting involved in all the love triangle stuff. But this was Bolin to me. Season 3 Bolin, that was it. All right, now we're getting into the really good stuff. Number 6, Korra saves Kuvira. You're lying!
Now it's over.
Oh, with the soundtrack! It's spirit energy, she can bend that shit. Or is she blocking it? It's like a nuke, man. Sucking it back in, hello? Or it's almost like it's one of the portals.
A new spirit portal.
That's sick, man. Now, this could easily be a lot higher on this list, but I think that speaks to the rest of the things on this list, at least for me. But this was fantastic. This was the season 4 climax, and Kuvira to me was one of the most unique villains because she started off on our side throughout season 3, and she completely turned around, went off and did her own thing. This whole sequence was just crazy because all of a sudden it's just Korra and Kuvira. The massive cannon is there, Kuvira's firing it, and I thought that there was every chance that Kuvira was gonna die in this sequence. But Korra jumping in front with one of the most epic OSTs in the background going on and saving Kuvira, dealing with the massive blast. Visually, it was just absolutely fantastic. The climactic moment of season 4. And of course, it's everything that follows this moment as well. They open up a new spirit portal. Korra and Kuvira are in the spirit world conversing. And that leads into the finale of the entire show. But I really, really love that moment. Number 5, we're back to season 3 here. Korra vs. Zahir. Damn! Oh, this is good. This is good. We're fighting in the air, man. This like Aang and frickin' Ozai, man. Holy shit. Holy shit. They are not messing around. Damn! That's one way to do it. That was sick. This entire fight, this entire sequence, you can look back on so differently after you see everything Korra goes through in season 4 because of this and her getting over that as well. But this was fantastic. It was absolutely an ode to Aang vs. Ozai as well. Korra and Zahir fighting in the air. The setting is similar and visually it was fantastic. Some really epic displays of bending, not to mention Zahir just being able to fly around. And Korra's absolutely going through it. She's affected by the poison. She's just had this experience being tied up by the Red Lotus. Her body's just in a state of constant fight or flight, the Avatar state, trying to ward off this poison, and you can really see her starting to lose herself. But at the same time, it is pretty epic to watch. All the way up until all the airbenders combine to form that massive wind funnel to Korra finally chaining down Zahir. It's a really epic watch and it really sets up a lot of what's to come for Korra in season 4. Alright, number 4, I'm really excited about this one. Korra overcomes her trauma.
Are you sure you're ready for this?
I am so down for this. I wanted this like super early in the season.
I need to do this alone.
This has the potential to be one of my favorite things in this show.
My problem is you. People used to think I was unstoppable, but now they don't think I'm capable of anything.
Blaming me is a crutch to make you feel better.
Yes. No, he's right. And I've only just noticed it now.
Neither of us are the same as before. I learned to fly, but now I'm bound in chains. You have all the power in the world and the freedom to use it. but you choose to hold yourself down.
Ooh.
You think your power has limits. I say it's limitless.
Whatever.
I think I can help.
Uh-huh.
Let me lead you into the spirit world.
This interaction so far has been perfect. That Zahir is gone. That Zahir is gone. We've seen it. Yeah, look at him.
Let it play out.
Uh-huh.
I can't.
Uh-huh.
You can. Don't fear what might have been.
I have no control.
Don't be afraid. Hold on.
Ooh. Are we in there? And look at it. And look how it looks like. Oh, shit. It's Rava.
Rava, I missed you. Where have you been?
I have always been inside of you.
Ooh. It gave me chills, bro. Ooh. Bro, I've got tears in my eyes. Holy shit. I was really excited about this going into it when I was watching the episode because I just love when protagonists and antagonists sit down and have a conversation like this, and Korra and Zahir's conversation all the way up until they go into the spirit world together is perfect. Zahir being the one to help Korra overcome her trauma, realize what it is that's really plaguing her, even though he's only doing this because it benefits him. It's really easy for me to look past that and just go, Zahir is the one helping Korra. And I just love the way that Zahir says to Korra, your power is limitless. From one of the best antagonists in the whole show, for him to say that to Korra, it's just great. And then that leads into them going into the spirit world together. Rava's back, another epic sequence. I have a really soft spot, especially for Korra and Zahir's conversation, just the idea of that. And of course, Korra overcoming her trauma, it is a massive deal. It was a really big theme of season 4, and I think they tackled it and handled it really well. Number 3, now this is a very fleeting moment, but it's something that hits incredibly hard, especially for me. Number 3, Iroh.
You two look lost.
Stop it!
Maybe
Stop
I
it!
can help you.
What the f?
I was good friends with Avatar Aang.
Iroh.
Hello, Korra.
Like, I'm gonna have a heart attack. Out of all the cameos and references and things that catch you off guard, this was the one that got me the most. It might not look like it in the moment, and it is a very fleeting moment, but out of all the main characters in The Last Airbender, Iroh is the one that you know for sure is no longer in the world. So for him to pull up in the spirit world, it's just something you can never expect. I was certainly not ready for it, and I think that's why I reacted the way I did. I was just so caught off guard, and it leads into some really great sequences of Iroh, you know, being that voice of wisdom to Korra that he was to Zuko so many times, and he does come back later on in the show as well. There's just never a bad scene with Iroh in it, so this had to be in there, so that's my number 3. All right, before we get into the top 2, because these are easily my 2 favorite things from The Legend of Korra, I've got some honorable mentions. There are many iconic moments throughout the show, but I just couldn't quite find a way to get these 2 on the list. Varric and Zhu Li, either Varric proposing to Zhu Li or them actually getting married, it was so iconic. It was incredibly satisfying to watch these 2 characters go through the show from the start of season 2 and for everything they went through specifically in season 4. It's just nice, man. It's just good to watch, especially their wedding being one of the final things of the show. It's very symbolic. I think it fits really well, and Varric is obviously just a very iconic character. And Korra and Asami. Now, the reason I didn't put this in the list, originally I was thinking about it, is because of the way it's presented to us. You know, I understand why it's presented the way that it is. I think it's great. I think it's awesome. Don't get me wrong. I understand it's completely canon and they go off and have a relationship, but I wish they could have shown it to us in a different way. I can appreciate like that it's implied and you can take what you want from it, but I love seeing these things, man, you know? Like, it's just something that would have been really satisfying and really nice, and it was the last thing we see of the entire show. Korra and Asami going off into the spirit world together, that could absolutely be a top 10 moment, maybe even top 5 for me if they just portrayed it a little bit differently, but I think it's great, don't get me wrong. All right, top 2, here we go. These are the big ones. Number 2, The Legend of Wan. Is this Rava?
Are you Rava?
No, but I can help you find her.
My name is Juan, and I will show you how I became the first Avatar.
Oh, okay. I've seen this before. Oh, here we go. I've seen this before.
We are bonded forever.
And here it is. The Avatar state. I didn't know how badly I needed this, man. Oh, and it's the same beautiful. Now, I don't know if we actually call this The Legend of Juan. It's just what I decided to call it, and it makes a lot of sense. These are probably two of the greatest episodes in the entire franchise. A lot of people said they only come back to season 2 to watch these two episodes. It's also very hard to narrow these two episodes down into a single moment, but I did my best. Just seeing the way all of this started, how the world was just occupied by all of these lion turtles, all the elements were separated, there was just wilds everywhere, and for Juan to go on the journey that he did, freeing Vaatu and then becoming one with Rava, it was awesome. And at the start of this, I was saying, I'm not too invested in this because it was all to get Korra's memory back. But by the end of the second episode of the two, I wanted to watch a whole season of it. It was fantastic. I love seeing lore. I love going back and seeing how things started. So it's something that has absolutely stuck with me. Easily my favorite part of season 2 as well. All right, now number 1, this is my favorite moment. It just perfectly encompassed everything I was looking for in this show, and it is the only moment from season 1. It is the season 1 finale when Aang restores Korra's bending.
I just want to be left alone.
But you called me here.
It's Aang.
Aang.
You have finally connected with your spiritual self. When we hit our lowest point, we are open to the greatest change.
Oh, dude, it hits. I could have never seen it happening this way. Hey, show me something, Korra. Show me something. Oh no, not the Avatar state. I didn't think it would be like this. I've mentioned this many times on the channel, but season 1 as a whole, as a singular season, was damn near perfect. I almost don't have any issues with it. The short story kind of structure, there is so much build up, you're asking questions throughout the whole show, and then we get right to the end, we have the big epic climax, and then that's it. And that's what this was to me. A big theme throughout the season was Korra really struggling with the spiritual side of things, and then all of a sudden, at her weakest moment, there's Aang. Korra can't bend, she's got nothing. All the other avatars are there as well, and then Aang gives Korra her bending back. Avatar state, OST, it just felt perfect. Like it was meant to be a standalone season, and that was the perfect way to end that for me. But the show being structured this way allowed for this to be that epic, and I'm very grateful for that. But that's it. That's my list. Let me know down in the comments if you had any moments in there that I didn't, or if I had moments in there that you didn't. I think The Legend of Korra, more so than The Last Airbender, has a lot of different moments and themes in it that I feel like a lot of people enjoy. The Last Airbender is just absolutely incredibly iconic and damn near perfect in its own right. But Korra tackles a lot of very different things. I can see a lot of people watch this show for very different reasons. So please let me know what your favorite moments were. I've got my reactions to the Avatar comics coming soon as well. That's long overdue. And I'm currently watching the Avatar live action on the channel. I've just uploaded episode 3. So check that out as well if you're interested. And with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. And as always, please continue to leave your comments and feedback down below. You know I always appreciate it. And we'll see you all in the next video.